siblings. If you're new here, my name is Nikki. Welcome to my channel where we get nerdy. Today, I'm going to be doing the rapid fire questions tag. I saw Alan from the Library of Alexandria do this, and it looked like fun. I will link him in the original video down below. So, let's get started. First question, ebook or physical book? I think it's pretty obvious. Physical book. Paperback or hardcover? I prefer paperback to read, just because it's easier to hold, but I'm too impatient sometimes to wait for the paperback to come out, so then I just end up buying the hardcover. Third, online or in-person book shopping? I'm going to say in-person. I literally live less than 10 minutes from a Barnes & Noble, and I used to work there, as some people know, because if you've been around for a bit. So I like in supporting that store. But I also am from Maine, and there's a small bookstore called Sherman's, and I like going to Sherman's because it carries a lot more Maine authors, and that way I can support Maine authors. The only time I do online is if it's a really good deal or if it's buying used books, because there's hardly any used bookstores near me. Next, trilogies or series? Depends on who wrote them. If it's one of my favorite authors, then series. If it's a story that doesn't warrant more than 3 books, then a trilogy. It all depends on how the story goes and if it's worth it. Next, heroes or villains? I'm always for the hero. Or the villain that becomes a hero that you don't like, the unlikely hero type thing. So that's that. A book you want everyone to read. 2022 Nicole would say Empire of the Vampire. 2021 Nicole would say either Gideon or Witchlands. Question is, what would 2023 Nicole say? Oh. And of course, I'm not going to make this easy on myself. Alright, I can't say a book. I'm going to say a series. Heroes of Olympus. Like, go ahead, skip Percy Jackson. Go to Heroes of Olympus, in my opinion. Recommend an underrated book or series. Witchlands. I hardly hear anybody talk about the Witchlands, and I honestly think it deserves more hype. You have a complex magic system, you have great character arcs and progress. The plot, it's kind of like a political fantasy with a little bit of a mystery element because you don't know exactly where it's going. And it has a unique magic system-ish. Like, yeah, you know, earth, water, fire, in earth, water, fire, air. Those type of magical manipulators are like, they're in quite a few books, but the void and the aether witches, you don't really see anywhere else. At least I haven't seen them anywhere else. Definitely not a blood witch that, you know, can regenerate his body insanely fast, and track people based off from their blood scent. It just, that I have not seen in many books at all. The last book you bought. think it was my box set of City of Bones. Mortal Instruments. I think the box set of that was the last thing I bought. If it's not, it's one of the ones that was in my most recent haul. Just, I don't remember which one was technically last. Weirdest thing you've used as a bookmark. So I don't know what, if other countries have them, or if they're called just something else in other countries, but in the US it's a social security card. Every US citizen has this unique number. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's 9 numbers long. And it's like everything is tied to your social security number. And I use my social security card as a bookmark, and now I can't find it. It's somewhere in one of these books, and I don't know which one. And now I can't find it. So that's great. Used books. Yes or no? Yes. I like used books. Because 1, they're cheaper than new books. 2, you can see the love that somebody's had before for it. And it just, I don't feel as guilty having that many books if they're used. Next, top 3 genres. Obviously fantasy. Nonfiction. And that's becoming a thing. And I'll have to say sci-fi, because like that's the only thing only other thing I have on my shelves. Like I've got contemporary, but I hardly touch it. But I absolutely love Gideon, and I mean I have, you know, Empire of Silence and some other sci-fis up here. So yep, it's gonna have to be sci-fi. Next, borrow or buy. So both. I will borrow books from the library to get a feel of the book to see if it's something I want to own. Or if it's a really long series and I don't want to buy the entire series, I'll borrow it from the library. Like, who wrote it? Ithaca and Circe, Song of Achilles, those type of books. I like reading them to get a vibe of the readings, of the writing style before I buy them, because I want to make sure it's something I can mesh with. So, next, characters or plot. Both. Like, I know there's a lot of people that are, I'm a character-driven person. Like, if the characters aren't well fleshed out and likable, I can't connect with the book. Other people, it's the plot, it's the setting, it's the storyline. That's what they need to hold them. For me, I literally need both. I need characters that I want to spend time with, but I need a plot to hold my attention. Because ADHD. Next, long or short books. I think it depends on what you consider long or short. I prefer to not read anything over 500 pages. Says the girl that loves the Locked Tomb series and Empire of the Vampire. Because I feel like a lot of stories, when they're long, there's a lot of unnecessary fluff that could get edited out, but they're just long to be long. Long or short chapters. I think neither. I don't like chapters like what is in Inheritance thing. Where is it? I think it's called Inheritance Games. They're like 2-3 pages long. I don't like those kind of chapters. But I don't like the chapters that are like 50 pages long. I want chapters that are like 20 to 30 pages long. That is a happy spot for me. Because like in the really long chapters, you're changing your viewpoint and your setting frequently, or at least, you know, every 10, 15, 20 pages. Just do an entirely new chapter. Those type of jumps, for me, it's hard to keep track of. Name the first 3 books you can think of. Of course, now I can't think of any. Gideon the Ninth, Empire of the Vampire, and Blood Witch. It's still my favorite in the Witchland series. As much as Isolde's my favorite character, 81's book's my favorite. Books that made you laugh or cry. Books that made me cry was Pachinko, by, I want to say Min Jin E. I'll put it here. Books that made me laugh, Percy Jackson series. Makes me, like, anything in the Rick Riordan verse tends to make me laugh. Our World or Fictional World? Fictional. Audiobook, yes or no? Yes. Do you judge a book by its cover? Yes. Now we're getting into rapid. Book to movie or book to TV adaptation? Depends. Can they fit it into a movie? If they can't, I want a TV adaptation. I want what does the story justice. A movie or TV show you preferred to its book? I don't know if I've read one yet. But, okay. Movie or TV show you preferred to its book. I don't think I've seen one or read one yet. Mainly because I have a really hard time watching a movie or a TV show and then reading the book, because I just feel like I know where the story's going. But I'm hoping that that's not the case in some of them. What are you doing? Series or standalone? If there was more fantasy standalones, I'd read a hell of a lot more of them. But it's very hard to find a fantasy standalone. That's why I tend to do nonfiction, because you get a lot of standalones. So, but until next time, oh wait, we gotta do the, if you liked the video, make sure you hit the thumbs up, comment down below your answers to some of these questions, and subscribe if you want to see more. Until next time, remember, you are loved and you are valued.